Hello, today I'm going to be teaching you how to assemble the 3D printed Sweet16 Macropad. So, Sweet16 Macropad was designed to be a screwless 3D printed case for the Sweet16 Macropad that can be accessible and relatively easy to build for everyone. So, the first step you're going to need to do is do all this assembly on the Sweet16. So solder in the diodes, the reset switch, then these racks for the Pro Micro. And you can learn how to do this in OneUp Keyboard's own video. I'll put that down in the description. But once you've soldered these three components, the reset switch, the diodes, and these like racks or whatever you call them, then you can begin assembling your case. So I'm going to take the top half of the case, slip it over. So this should just rest in there pretty nicely. So just to show you, that's how you do it. And then let's take our switches. So I'm just going to be using Duroc linear 65 grams because that's just what I have on hand right now. So put one in each corner. Whoops. Some of them may be a tight fit because this plate is 3D printed. Especially because I filmed them. Okay, so check that all your switches are flush to the plate, like this. And once you have the four corners installed, you can move these over here. Now just place that gently in there. Make sure all the pins line up, and I would recommend 5-pin switches just because it's easier for aligning the PCB and the rest of the stuff, but you can use whatever you want. And now that we have aligned and secured this PCB with the mounting pins, we can flip it back over. We can install the rest of the switches. So I'm just going to put my link to hold in there. So I'll use this PCB to check this mic. These are just on both sides. Both sides of this, so just make sure I'm setting. Okay, here is all my switches in, and you can see they're all just poking out of the back plate. And when you're putting your switches in, you just really want to make sure they're flush to the top of the plate. So you can look at them from different angles to make sure this is in fact the case. Alright, looks great. So now we move to soldering switches. Alright, we have finished all of our switch soldering, so as you can see, it's well soldered. And the next thing we have to do is solder our Pro Micro. So Pro Micro is this little daughter board that actually it's kind of the brain of the circuit board, because it has this microcontroller. And it'll also have some like capacitors and of course the micro USB port, and that is the Kindle USB port in more common terms. And that's just going to sit right here, and you're going to solder. So sorry, I probably should have mentioned this before, but do take care to see that your soldering iron does not hit the bottom of the switch, because that might mess up the feel. And it does not hit the case. The case should be a little more resistant to the heat, but it's really just not a good idea because you don't want to warp or damage your case. So now we are just going to be soldering each of these pins, and that's actually kind of a lot of pins, you can see. So I will see you after this time lapse. Okay, and we've set our Pro Micro, and some more soldering tips. Make sure to use either a fan or an air filter, and do it in a well-ventilated area. And good job if you've made it this far. This is all the soldering you'll need to do. So you can put away your solder, your desoldering gun, and your soldering iron. But do keep some flush cutters. Alright, time to cool down the soldering iron. Alright, I'm going to put this somewhere to air dry. Alright, now we are going to clip the pins right here. And this is a good time to mention that you want to, I would even recommend getting like some plastic or paper, because these things can like shoot up and jab you, and it kind of hurts. Now is a good time to mention that yellow is not the only colorway. This is just a prototype, and on Shapeways there will be a variety of plastic colors available, and the Shapeways link will be down in the description if you want to buy a case like this, and then you can build this thing yourself. Okay, make sure to dispose of all these plastic bits. You should just do it right now, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to do this later. And now you're going to take your bottom piece, and this area right here will, actually I'm not sure if Shapeways will clear out the material for you, but will most likely be filled with support material, and You just gotta take that out with some pliers. And then keep in mind that this whole build is completely screwless, which is pretty cool. You can just slide that in here. And don't like spend a long time taking the support material out of this top piece, because that actually will help keep the bottom piece in place. It's not necessary, but it actually is pretty helpful. And now, as you can see, the Pro Micro has a perfect little window here, and in the back, the micro USB is poking through. And now we have a 7-degree angled. There's like a piece of metal in there. It's actually making me mad. Get it out. Okay, there we go. And now you have a 7-degree angled Sweet16 Macropad case with an integrated PLA plate, chamfered corners and top and bottom edges, and this nice bottom. By the way, these holes are for 8mm diameter pump-ons. I'm not going to be using them for this video, but you can find some from the link in the description. So now we're just going to be putting on some keycaps. Alright, and here is our finished build. To be honest, the colorway might not be pretty, but you are going to be able to get it in a wide variety of colors on the Shapeways store. In terms of shape, I think it looks pretty nice, honestly. And in terms of sound, obviously sounds subjective, I think it sounds pretty good. Okay, and I think that is about it for this build video. As you can see, let's take our micro USB. It will just slide right on in there and plug in. So that works out great. Yeah, so that's all. The Shapeway link for this product will be in the video description, and hope you consider buying it. Thank you. Bye.